Hi everyone, welcome to Vidyalakshmi School YouTube channel. This is Naresh Reddy, Chemistry faculty of Vidyalakshmi CBSE School. Okay, now let us discuss about one of the most important topic of J and NET. Our topic is colligative properties of +2 solution chapter. Okay, so here in this session, what we are going to discuss means what are colligative properties, how many properties are there, those properties depends on what and independent on what, okay, and those properties are they related to the molar mass of solute or not. So those concepts let us discuss in this session. Okay, so shall we start? Yes, let us go to our topic. So what is our topic means? Colligative properties. Okay, so what are colligative properties means? The properties of solution which depends on the number of solute particles but not on the nature of the solute are called colligative properties. Okay, so in this definition is saying two important terms. What are those means? The properties of solution which depends on the number of the solute particles but not on the nature of the solute. Okay, so what is the meaning of this means? For example, if I am taking NaCl as a solute, solute means in solution the substance which is present in a minor quantity is called solute and which is present in a larger quantity or excess quantity is called solvent. Okay, so here if I am taking NaCl as a solute, then when it is dissolving in water or solvent, it dissociates to Na plus Cl minus. Let us take 1 mole of NaCl we are going to dissolve in water to prepare salt solution. Then that 1 mole of NaCl gives 1 mole of Na plus ion and 1 mole of Cl minus ion. So that after dissolving in water, that NaCl giving 2 moles of ions to the outside. Okay, since 1 mole has 6.023 into 10 power 23 number of ions, here when 1 mole of NaCl dissolving in water, it finally gives 2 into 6.023 into 10 power 23 ions. Okay, so here this total number of ions present in this are 2 into 6.023 into 10 power 23 ions are present there. 2 into 6.023 into 10 power 23 ions are present. Okay, and if you take glucose, if you are dissolving this in water, then we can obtain glucose solution. That obtained mixture we are calling glucose solution. Okay, so in this glucose solution, glucose is solute and water is solvent. Glucose is solute, water is solvent. Now here if we say in this glucose solution, when we are dissolving this glucose in water, after dissolving it does not dissociate into the ions. So the actual formula of glucose is C6H12O6. The actual formula of glucose is C6H12O6. Okay, when it is dissolving in water, after that also it is giving same formula. It is not dissociating into ions. Okay, if you take 1 mole of glucose which is dissolving in water, after adding the same 1 mole of glucose molecules present in that, since it is not dissociating, a number of molecules does not increase. Okay, that means, so here 1 mole of glucose only obtaining here, that one contains 6.023 into 10 power 23 glucose molecules. But here 2 into 6.023 into 10 power 23 ions are present, means compared to here the number of molecules, here number of ions are double. Okay, so here if we measure the few properties of solution, what are those properties we will discuss later. Okay, if we measure the few properties of solution, those are more value for this NaCl solution, that is salt solution, than this glucose solution, because here number of molecules means number of particles less. So here that particle is solute particle, glucose particle, glucose is solute here. Okay, but here solute is NaCl, that one dissociating gives more number of ions, means more number of solute particles. So the properties of a solution which depends only on the number of solute particles but not on the nature of the solute, those properties we are calling as colligative properties. Okay, so here this one show more quantity in some properties and this one show less quantity in some properties. Those properties we are calling colligative properties. Is it clear to you? Okay, but if you take this one is ionic compound and this one is covalent compound, this is ionic and this one is covalent. Okay, depending on that nature, ionic or covalent, properties does not depend. That is, properties do not depend on the nature of the solute, whether it is ionic or covalent. Depending on that nature, some properties of the solution do not depend. It depends only on the number of particles, means number of ions or molecules coming after dissolving in solvent. Those properties we are calling as colligative properties. Okay, clear? Right, now let us see how many of those colligative properties are there. Okay, so if we say how many colligative properties are there, there are 4 colligative properties present. What are those means? Relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, and osmotic pressure. These are the 4 colligative properties which depends only on number of the solute particles but not on the nature of solute. Okay, so let us discuss one by one each. So how many colligative properties are there? Means 4. Relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, osmotic pressure. Okay, so let us discuss the first one, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure. So before going to discuss relative lowering of vapor pressure, let us say once about the vapor pressure of a liquid solvent when we are going to dissolve non-volatile solute. Okay, so here I told to you non-volatile solute and liquid solvent. Okay, so let us say what is the meaning of that non-volatile solute and liquid solvent. Okay, so if you take any liquid, that liquid has some volatile nature. If you take any liquid like petrol, diesel, kerosene, water, chloroform, alcohol, okay, any liquid, it has somewhat volatile nature, means escaping of the liquid molecules from the liquid state into the vapors. That property is called volatile nature. Okay, so here solvent I am taking as a liquid state. So this is solvent, pure solvent I am taking. Pure solvent means I am not adding any solute to that liquid. Okay, here liquid I am taking as a solvent and solute I am taking non-volatile solute. So non-volatile solute means it does not undergo any vaporization, means it does not show any volatile nature. For example, if you take stone, salt, glucose, okay, if you are keeping any of these substances in our room or in our atmosphere, are those substances undergo any vaporization process on themselves? No, because they are non-volatile nature. Okay, so here if any substance do not show the volatile character, then that we are calling as non-volatile substance. Such type of non-volatile solute I am adding to this pure solvent. Okay. So when we are adding non-volatile solute to this pure solvent, then we can get a solution. We can get a solution because addition of solute to the solvent is called solution. Okay. So this is a solution and this one is pure solvent. This is present in liquid state. This one also present in the liquid state. Okay. But in this liquid state, solute and solvent both are present. But on that, which one only show vaporization means? Only the solvent. Solute does not show any vaporization process because it is non-volatile nature. Okay. Now, if we see the volatile nature of these two after adding, that is the volatile nature of the liquid present in the pure state in the solution after adding non-volatile solute. Let us see what happened to that volatile nature. Okay. Now see here carefully, if you observe, the volatile nature of any liquid mainly depends on the surface of that liquid. Okay. Below this part we are calling as bulk of that liquid, but this upper part we are calling surface. How many molecules are occupying on the surface? Depending on that, the number of liquid molecules enter into the vapor state. Okay. So that volatile nature depends on surface molecule. Is it clear? So here, if more number of liquid molecules are occupying on the surface, then more number enter into the vapor state. Those vapors nothing but gas state, so that they will exhibit some pressure. Okay. So here, in the case of pure solvent, since only solvent molecules are present, this surface is occupied only with the solvent molecules. Since we are not adding in this pure solvent solute, we are not adding any solute, so that nothing solute particles occupy on the surface, only solvent particles there, so that those solvent molecules are enter into the vapor state. Those vapors causes some pressure on the lid of this flask. That pressure is called vapor pressure. Okay. So this is liquid state and this is vapor state. Okay. And these vapors produce some pressure, those we are calling vapor pressure. The pressure exerted by the vapors is called vapor pressure. Okay. Now, if we compare the same number of the solvent molecules on the surface in the solution state, if we compare that, since your solute is adding to this solvent, some of the solute particles occupy on the surface and remaining enter into the bulk. Okay, because it is a homogeneous mixture. To say any mixture as a solution, that should be homogeneous, means that entire mixture was distributed by the two components present in that solution. Okay. So here, apart from the bulk, some solute particles are occupying on the surface of the solution. Okay. So here these blue color balls I am taking as a solvent molecules. Okay. And the green color balls I am taking as solute particles. So that green color is solute and blue color solvent. Okay. Now here, if we compare the number of solvent molecules on the surface, if we see clearly, here how many solvent molecules are there means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that 10 molecules are present on the surface. But in this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only present on the surface. When the number of solvent molecules are more on the surface, then vaporization process more, so that more number of vapor molecules present on the surface of this liquid. So that pressure exerted by those vapors is also more. But here, since solvent molecules are less, those 5 molecules only now enter into the vapor state. When the 5 molecules enter into the vapor state, then those place occupied by the bulk liquid molecule. So that bulk liquid molecule now enter onto the vapor. Okay, when bulk also enter onto the when bulk also enter onto the surface, again how many will occupy means same 5 number. So that remaining 5 molecules come to the upside, means onto the vapor state. Okay. So here, if we compare the number of vapor molecules in the pure solvent and solution state, here vapor molecules are less, but here vapor molecules are more. Okay. So here more vapors are present, but here less vapors are present. So depending on the number of vapor molecules, vapor pressure of that liquid depends. So here in the case of pure solvent, vapor pressure is more, but in the case of solution state for the same solvent, vapor pressure less. Okay. So these less vapors produces a vapor pressure less amount. That means, do we say that the vapor pressure of solvent, that is liquid solvent, in a solution where non-volatile solute is added, then its vapor pressure decreases. Do we say like this? When non-volatile solute is added to the volatile liquid solvent, then in solution state, the vapor pressure exerted by that solvent is less compared to the pure state. That decrease in vapor pressure is called lowering of vapor pressure. The decrease in vapor pressure of liquid solvent when non-volatile solute is added to it is called lowering of vapor pressure. Okay. So that lowering of vapor pressure is the decrease in vapor pressure of solution. I am saying here decrease in vapor pressure of the solution, not pure solvent. Okay, that also we can say. So here decrease in vapor pressure of solution having non-volatile solute compared to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. That decrease we are calling as lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, let us take once again here. How many solute particles occupy on this surface mains? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 solute particles occupied here. I am assuming that 2 more solute particles are occupying on the surface. Okay, let us take. This one is also a solute particle. This one is also a solute particle. Now, how many solvent particles there now? 2 reduced. So that now 3 solvent particles. So that further number of the vapor molecules decrease or increases? Yes, decreases. In the case of 5 vapors are present, but in the case of 3 vapors only come to the upside, means into the vapor state. So that vapor pressure exerted by those 3 vapors further decrease. Is it clear? That means, do we say that if number of solute particles or increases, then the vapor pressure exerted by the solvent in the solution further decrease? Yes. Okay. So that vapor pressure of solvent in a solution mainly depends on the number of solute particles. Okay. Since this vapor pressure depending on the number of solute particles in the solution, we are saying that vapor pressure is a colligative property for that liquid in the solution state. Okay. Since that vapor pressure is decreasing, decreasing we are expressing in term of lowering of vapor pressure. Okay. So that lowering of vapor pressure we are representing with the delta P. So here delta P indicates lowering of vapor pressure. That indicates lowering of vapor pressure. Okay. So here that delta P, how do we write our means? P naught minus Ps. Okay. That is more value minus less value. Vapor pressure of pure solvent is more and vapor pressure of solution is less. So that overall value is positive or negative? Positive. Okay. That means that how much decreasing means this much we have to subtract. Then what is the value is giving? That value, that much value decreases as vapor pressure. Okay. So here, and what is the condition to say this one means? The solute should be volatile or non-volatile, means non-volatile solute we have to add, then only vapor pressure decrease. Instead of that, if you are adding the volatile solute, then solvent shows some vapors and solute also show vapors. If you are taking volatile solute, then vapor pressure increases further, it did not decrease. Okay, right. So what is lowering of vapor pressure and how do we represent that lowering of vapor pressure, and what is the reason for decrease in the vapor pressure of solution compared to the pure solvent? Why it is decreasing? Okay, clear all about this to you? Right. Now let us see what is related to lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, so here if we take the ratio between lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of pure solvent, then that ratio is called relative lowering of vapor pressure. Just now we discussed lowering of vapor pressure is nothing but delta P. If you are comparing this lowering of vapor pressure with vapor pressure of pure solvent, I am representing the vapor pressure of pure solvent as P0. If we compare this lowering of vapor pressure of a solution with respect to the vapor pressure of pure solvent, that relation we are calling as relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, so here since it is a ratio between the lowering of vapor pressure to the vapor pressure of pure solvent, then we can define the relative lowering of vapor pressure as the ratio, means by between lowering of vapor pressure delta P. For whose that one lowering of vapor pressure? Solution. So that lowering of vapor pressure of solution to the vapor pressure of pure solvent P0. Okay. So that lowering of vapor pressure of solution is delta P and vapor pressure of pure solvent P0. That ratio we are calling as relative lowering of vapor pressure. And since we are writing the delta P as P0 minus PS, then P0 minus PS by P0 gives relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, so that we can write down RLVP as P0 minus PS by P0, where R means relative, L means lowering, and V means vapor, P means pressure. Okay, so this is equation to represent the relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, according to Raoult's law, for dilute solution which has non-volatile solute, for a dilute solution which has non-volatile solute, the relative lowering of vapor pressure, that is P0 minus PS by P0, is equal to mole fraction of solute. That is equal to mole fraction of solute. This law is applicable only for dilute solution. What is dilute solution means? The quantity of the solute is very less in that solution compared to the solvent quantity. Okay. So for dilute solutions where solute does not undergo any association or any dissociation, then in that case the relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to the mole fraction of solute. That was observed by Raoult scientist. That's why according to Raoult's law, P0 minus PS by P0 is equal to X solute. Okay. Now, if we take according to the definition of mole fraction, okay, so mole fraction is nothing but number of moles of that substance by total number of moles of all the components present in that solution. Okay. Since we are expressing mole fraction with respect to the solute, then X solute is equal to N solute by N solute plus N solvent. That means number of moles of solute by number of moles of solute plus number of moles of solvent, because solution contain only solute and solvent. So total number of moles. Okay, so here, since it is a dilute solution, the number of moles of solute is very less than number of moles of solvent. Since it is a dilute solution, okay, amount of the solute is very less, so that number of moles also decreases. Okay, that value is negligible compared to the number of moles of solvent. Okay, so that we can take n solute plus n solvent collectively together as n solvent. Okay, since it is a dilute solution, number of moles of solute particles are very less, then we can take this denominator summation as number of moles of solvent. Okay, so that this summation I am taking as number of moles of solvent only, so that we can rearrange this as X solute is equal to N solute, that is number of moles of solute, by number of moles of solvent. Okay, so according to the formula of number of moles is nothing but weight by molecular weight, and here also weight by molecular weight. I am taking the weight of solute as A and molecular weight as Ma. Weight of the solute as Wb and the molecular weight of the, I am taking this weight of the solute as Wa, molecular weight of solute as Ma. Weight of the solvent as Wb and molecular weight of the solvent as Mb. So if we rearrange this one, then we can get this. Okay, so if we rearrange that, then X solute is equal to Wa by Ma into Mb by Wb. So that we can write. So this equation we can rearrange like this. Okay, so here what is Wa means? Weight of the solute, Wa, weight of solute, and Ma, molecular weight of solute, okay, Mb, molecular weight of solvent, and Wb, weight of solvent. Nothing but A means solute, B means solvent, W means weight, M means molecular weight. Okay, since we are going to add some amount of the solute and some amount of the solvent to prepare a solution, we know that Wa and Wb values. Okay, since we know the solvent, we can know the molecular weight of that solvent. Okay, if we don't know the molecular weight of this solute, by using this equation, we can calculate the molecular weight of that solute after knowing the relative lowering of vapor pressure of that solution. That relative lowering of vapor pressure we have to know by experimental. That is, by doing some experiment, we can know this RLVP. Okay, and by using this equation, we can calculate the molar mass of solute. That is the major advantage of colligative property. Okay, so here this relative lowering of vapor pressure P naught minus Ps by P naught is a colligative property. That one is inversely proportional to the molar mass of solute. Do we say like that? Okay, so here the relative lowering of vapor pressure, which is a colligative property, is inversely proportional to molar mass. So by using this equation, we can calculate molar mass of the solute. Okay, and what is P naught, what is Ps means? P naught is nothing but vapor pressure of the pure solvent, and Ps is vapor pressure of solution. Okay, so by substituting these values, we can calculate the molar mass of solute. Okay, so this is about relative lowering of vapor pressure. And what is Raoult's law? According to Raoult's law, which one is equal to which one? Okay, and what is the final equation do we get in the relative lowering of vapor pressure to calculate the molar mass of solute? Okay, right. So what is colligative property? means it is the ratio between the lowering of vapor pressure of the solution to the vapor pressure of pure solvent. Okay, and what is lowering of vapor pressure means? When a non-volatile solute is added to the volatile solvent, then vapor pressure of that pure solvent decreases in that solution. That decrease in the vapor pressure of a solution compared to the pure solvent is called lowering of vapor pressure. Thank you for watching this video. Okay, so in this session we discussed about what are colligative properties and how we will measure the colligative properties of those, and what is the relation of those colligative properties to the Van der factor and molar mass of the solute. Like this video. Okay, so if you like this video, please share, subscribe and share to your friends so that I will try to upload more videos. Okay, and in next video let us see with another concept. Okay, see all of you in next video.